Hello pigeon enthusiasts, and welcome to today's video. Whether you're new to the world of racing pigeons or you've been raising these magnificent birds for years, you've come to the right place. Today, we're diving deep into the 5 essential elements that separate ordinary racing pigeons from true champions. Racing pigeons have been bred for centuries to perform incredible feats of navigation, endurance, and speed. These remarkable birds can travel hundreds of miles back to their lofts at speeds exceeding 60 miles per hour. But creating a champion isn't just about good genes. It requires dedicated care, proper training, and a deep understanding of what these birds need to excel. The sport of pigeon racing has a rich history dating back to the 1800s, and today it remains popular worldwide with dedicated communities spanning from Belgium and the UK to the United States and across Asia. What makes this sport so special is the unique bond between the fancier, that's what we call pigeon keepers, and their birds. In this comprehensive guide, I'll share with you the top 5 essentials that every successful pigeon racer pays close attention to. By the end of this video, you'll understand exactly what it takes to raise pigeons that don't just participate in races, but consistently finish at the top. We'll cover everything from genetics and breeding to nutrition, training methods, healthcare practices, and loft management. Each of these elements is crucial, and neglecting any one of them can make the difference between victory and defeat. So whether you're raising your first pair of racing homers or looking to take your existing team to the next level, these 5 essentials will serve as your roadmap to success. Let's get started on your journey to raising champion racing pigeons. Let's begin with what many consider the foundation of success in pigeon racing: genetics and breeding. The old saying, "champions breed champions," holds particularly true in this sport. While care and training are vitally important, the genetic potential of your birds sets the ceiling for what they can achieve. Understanding racing pigeon bloodlines. When you're starting your journey in pigeon racing, it's crucial to learn about the various bloodlines and strains that have proven successful over decades of competition. Names like Jansen, Van Loon, Arden, and Muhlmans are legendary in the pigeon racing world, each known for specific traits like exceptional speed, endurance, or navigation abilities. Don't feel overwhelmed by these famous names, though. What's most important is understanding what traits each bloodline is known for and considering which qualities would benefit your racing team based on the types of races you plan to enter. Sprint races of under 300 miles require different genetic traits than marathon races of 500+ miles. Selecting your foundation breeders. When building your loft, resist the temptation to acquire birds solely based on pedigree papers or impressive lineage claims. Instead, focus on obtaining birds with proven race records or direct offspring from proven racers. A bird with actual racing achievements in its background is generally more valuable than one with just a fancy pedigree but no results to back up. Look for birds that show vigor, bright eyes, good muscle tone, and proper wing-to-body proportions. These physical traits often indicate good health and athletic potential. Handle potential breeding stock personally whenever possible. Feel their muscle quality, check their wing flexibility, and assess their overall vitality. Creating a selective breeding program. Once you have established your foundation stock, implementing a systematic breeding program becomes essential. This doesn't have to be complicated, but should be intentional. Keep detailed records of breeding pairs, their offspring, and racing results. This data becomes invaluable as you make decisions about which lines to continue developing and which to phase out. Consider implementing methods like line breeding, breeding related birds with similar desirable traits, or outcrossing, introducing unrelated birds to add new genetic material based on your specific goals. Many successful fanciers practice the widowhood system, where male and female pairs are separated during racing season and reunited as a reward before races, creating strong motivation for the birds to return quickly to their mates. Remember that breeding is both a science and an art. While understanding genetics is important, developing an eye for quality birds and the intuition to make good pairing decisions comes with experience. Don't be discouraged by early setbacks. Even the world's top breeders continuously refine their approaches based on racing outcomes. A practical approach is to start with a small number of high-quality birds rather than many average ones. 10 excellent pigeons will produce better results than 50 mediocre ones, and they'll be easier to manage as you learn. As your knowledge grows, so can your loft. Over time, implement a ruthless selection process. This means keeping only those birds that prove themselves either as racers or producers of racing winners. This can be emotionally difficult at first, but maintaining high standards is essential for developing a winning team. Many champion lofts are built on just a few exceptional breeding pairs that consistently produce winners. Essential number 2, optimal nutrition and supplementation. The second essential element in raising champion racing pigeons is nutrition. Just as elite human athletes require specialized diets to perform at their peak, racing pigeons need carefully balanced nutrition to meet the extraordinary demands placed on their bodies during training and competition. Understanding basic nutritional requirements. At the foundation of your feeding program should be a high-quality racing pigeon mix. These specialized seed mixtures typically contain a variety of grains including corn, peas, barley, wheat, and various small seeds. Each component serves a purpose. Corn provides energy, peas offer protein, and smaller seeds contribute essential vitamins and minerals. The nutritional needs of your birds will change throughout the year based on their activities. During the breeding season, pigeons require higher protein levels, around 16 to 18%, to support reproduction and growth of youngsters. During racing season, increased carbohydrates and fats provide the energy needed for intense exercise, with protein requirements around 12 to 14%. Customizing feed for different seasons. Successful fanciers adjust their feeding programs to match the specific demands of each season. During the molting period, typically late summer to fall, birds need extra protein to support feather growth. Consider adding more legumes like peas and supplementing with feather-supporting vitamins. In winter, when birds are less active but need to maintain body heat, slightly higher fat content helps provide sustained energy without excess weight gain. During breeding, parents need abundant calcium and protein to produce eggs and feed growing squabs. Supplemental calcium sources like grit and crushed oyster shells become especially important. In racing season, implement a carefully planned feeding strategy that changes throughout the week. Many fanciers follow a light to heavy approach, starting with lower fat seeds early in the week and gradually increasing energy-dense seeds as race day approaches. The power of natural supplements. While a good seed mix forms the foundation of your feeding program, natural supplements can provide the extra edge that separates champions from the rest of the field. These supplements support various aspects of pigeon health and performance. Garlic is a powerful natural immune booster and has anti-parasitic properties. It can be provided fresh, as oil, or in water-soluble powder form. Many fanciers add fresh garlic to drinking water once or twice weekly. Oregano oil contains natural compounds with antimicrobial properties that support digestive and respiratory health. A few drops in drinking water can help maintain the balance of beneficial gut bacteria. Probiotics help maintain healthy gut flora, improving digestion and nutrient absorption while reducing the risk of harmful bacteria colonizing the digestive tract. These are especially valuable after antibiotic treatments or during times of stress. Apple cider vinegar slightly acidifies drinking water, creating conditions that favor beneficial bacteria while discouraging harmful ones. It's a simple addition that many champions swear by, typically using it 2 to 3 times weekly. Brewer's yeast is rich in B vitamins and minerals that support metabolism and energy production. It's particularly valuable during the racing and breeding seasons when demands on the birds are highest. Hydration and electrolytes. Water is perhaps the most overlooked nutritional component. Fresh, clean water should always be available to your birds. During hot weather or after races, consider adding electrolyte solutions to drinking water to replace minerals lost through exertion and help speed recovery. Feeding management practices. How you feed is almost as important as what you feed. Develop a consistent feeding schedule that your birds can anticipate. Most successful fanciers feed twice daily, with the amount adjusted based on how quickly birds consume what's offered. Consider implementing a controlled feeding approach rather than constant access to food. This allows you to monitor each bird's appetite, an important indicator of health, and helps maintain ideal racing weight. Birds that are too heavy will struggle to perform well, while those that are too thin lack the energy reserves needed for longer races. Remember that nutrition isn't just about the racing season, it's a year-round commitment to providing what your birds need at each stage of their lives. The nutritional foundation you build during the off-season will significantly impact performance when racing begins. Essential number 3, strategic training and conditioning. The third essential element for developing champion racing pigeons is a well-designed training program. Even birds with exceptional genetics and perfect nutrition cannot reach their potential without proper conditioning and training. Let's explore how to develop a program that builds both physical capabilities and homing instincts. Understanding the goals of training. Pigeon training serves multiple purposes. First, it develops the physical strength, endurance, and cardiovascular capacity needed for racing. Second, it sharpens homing and navigation skills, teaching birds to return home quickly and directly. Third, it establishes routines that prepare birds mentally for the challenges of competition. Starting with young birds. Training begins when young birds are around 8 to 10 weeks old, after they've learned to eat independently and begun exploring around the loft. The initial phase focuses on loft familiarity and confidence. Allow young birds daily free-flying sessions around the loft, gradually increasing duration as they build confidence and strength. These sessions, called loft flying, help birds develop their flying muscles and learn to recognize their home from various angles. Encourage regular exercise by using flags or other gentle motivation to keep birds airborne for increasingly longer periods, starting with 15 to 20 minutes and working up to an hour or more. Teach birds to respond to your call or feeding signals by consistently using the same sounds or whistles when it's time to come in for feeding. This conditioning will prove valuable throughout their racing careers. Progressive road training. Once young birds are confidently flying around the loft for at least 30 to 45 minutes daily, it's time to begin road training. Start with very short distances, just 1 to 2 miles from a loft, and gradually increase as birds demonstrate successful returns. Release birds in small groups rather than individually during early training. Choose release points in different directions around your loft, not just along the racing route. This develops more comprehensive navigation skills and prepares birds for varying wind conditions. Increase distances methodically, perhaps adding 5 miles with each successful training toss. Pay attention to each bird's performance. Some may progress faster than others. Maintain detailed records of each training release, noting weather conditions, release time, arrival time, and any birds that return late or get lost. This data helps identify both promising racers and training issues that need addressing. Building a training schedule. A well-structured training program typically follows this progression. Weeks 1 to 4, daily loft flying sessions, gradually increasing from 15 minutes to an hour. Weeks 5 to 6, short road tosses 1 to 5 miles in different directions 2 to 3 times weekly. Weeks 7 to 8, medium distance tosses 5 to 15 miles, 2 to 3 times weekly. Weeks 9 to 10, longer tosses 15 to 30 miles, twice weekly. Weeks 11 to 12, extended distance tosses 30 to 60 miles, once or twice weekly. Pre-racing, final preparation tosses 60 to 100 miles, simulating race conditions. During the actual racing season, many successful fanciers reduce training intensity to avoid overtaxing the birds. Light loft flying between races is often sufficient to maintain conditioning. Special training considerations. Basket training is crucial for preparing birds for the stress of race day. Regularly placing birds in shipping baskets for increasing periods helps them become comfortable with the confinement they'll experience during transportation to race release points. Single toss training, where birds are released individually rather than in groups, helps develop independence and decision-making. This becomes particularly important for more experienced birds being prepared for challenging races. Motivation training incorporates aspects of the widowhood system or other motivational techniques. For male birds, this might involve showing them their hen briefly before basketing for training tosses, creating a stronger drive to return quickly. Weather conditioning gradually exposes birds to different weather conditions they might encounter during races. While you should avoid training in severe weather, controlled exposure to light rain or challenging winds can prepare birds for real-world racing conditions. Developing racing strategies. As you gain experience, you'll develop more sophisticated training approaches tailored to specific race distances and conditions. For sprint races, 100 to 300 miles, focus on speed work with multiple shorter training tosses and loft flying that encourages faster speeds rather than just endurance. For middle distance races, 300 to 500 miles, balance speed work with endurance training, gradually building the bird's ability to maintain good speeds over longer distances. For long distance races, 500 plus miles, emphasize endurance training with fewer but longer training tosses, preparing birds to pace themselves effectively. Remember that training must be balanced with adequate recovery time. Overtraining can lead to exhaustion, weakened immune systems, and poor race performance, just as it does with human athletes. Watch for signs of fatigue like reduced appetite, fluffed feathers, or reluctance to fly. and adjust your program accordingly. Essential number 4, comprehensive healthcare and disease prevention. The fourth essential element in raising champion racing pigeons is a proactive approach to health management. Even the best genetics, nutrition, and training cannot overcome health issues. Champions maintain rigorous health protocols that prevent diseases before they start and quickly address any issues that do arise. Creating a preventative healthcare program. Successful pigeon racers know that prevention is far more effective than treatment. A comprehensive preventative program includes several key components. Regular observation is your first line of defense. Spend time daily watching your bird's behavior, droppings, appetite, and general demeanor. Early detection of problems allows for prompt intervention before issues spread or worsen. Establish a quarantine protocol for new birds entering your loft. Keep new acquisitions separated from your existing flock for at least 3 to 4 weeks while monitoring for any signs of illness. This simple practice prevents countless disease outbreaks. Implement a vaccination schedule based on consultation with an avian veterinarian. Common vaccinations include those for paramyxovirus, PMV, poxvirus, and sometimes paratyphoid. The specific needs may vary based on your location and local disease prevalence. Follow a parasite control program addressing both internal parasites, worms, and external parasites, mites, lice. Most successful fanciers deworm their birds 2 to 4 times yearly and treat for external parasites as needed based on inspection. Maintaining loft hygiene. Cleanliness is fundamental to pigeon health. A systematic approach to loft hygiene includes daily cleaning of feeding and watering equipment to prevent the buildup of harmful bacteria. Stainless steel or glass containers are preferable as they're easier to sanitize thoroughly. Regular removal of droppings, either through daily scraping of perches and floors or through the use of deep litter systems that are changed completely on a scheduled basis. Periodic deep cleaning and disinfection of the entire loft, typically done after breeding season and again after racing season. This includes washing walls, floors, nest boxes, and perches with appropriate disinfectants. Proper ventilation that removes moisture and ammonia buildup while avoiding drafts directly on the birds. Good air quality is essential for respiratory health, which is paramount for racing performance. Natural health boosters. Many successful fanciers incorporate natural health supports into their regular routines. Bathing opportunities should be provided at least weekly. Pigeons naturally bathe to maintain feather condition and remove parasites. Many fanciers add a small amount of apple cider vinegar or specialized bath salts to bathing water to discourage external parasites. Natural immune supports like garlic, oregano oil, and apple cider vinegar, as mentioned in our nutrition section, play double duty as health protectors. These natural substances help maintain the balance of beneficial gut flora while discouraging harmful organisms. Probiotics are particularly valuable after stress events like races or after any medication treatments. They help restore the beneficial gut bacteria that support both digestion and immune function, recognizing and responding to health issues. Despite best preventative efforts, health issues may occasionally arise. Quick identification and response are crucial. Respiratory problems are particularly significant for racing pigeons, as any compromise to the respiratory system dramatically impacts performance. Signs include open mouth breathing, wheezing sounds, nasal discharge, or frequent head shaking. Consult with an avian veterinarian immediately if these symptoms appear. Digestive issues often manifest as unusual droppings, watery, discolored, or containing undigested seed. Temporary fasting followed by probiotics and easily digestible foods can help with mild cases, but persistent problems require veterinary attention. Eye conditions like conjunctivitis can severely impact navigation. Clear, bright eyes are essential for racing success. Any cloudiness, discharge, or swelling around the eyes requires prompt attention. The medicine cabinet. Maintain a basic medicine cabinet for your loft, including a broad-spectrum antibiotic recommended by your avian veterinarian, canker treatment for trichomoniasis, a common protozoan infection, coccidiosis treatment, respiratory medication, electrolyte/vitamin supplements for recovery, basic first aid supplies for injuries. However, avoid the common mistake of overusing medications, particularly antibiotics. Unnecessary or improper medication use can create resistant bacteria and disrupt the natural gut flora that supports health. Always consult with an experienced fancier or avian veterinarian before administering medications. Health management during racing season. Racing season presents particular health challenges due to the stress of competition and exposure to birds from other lofts. Consider these specialized practices. Pre-race health checks should become routine. Examine each bird before basketing, checking mouth, throat, eyes, keel, breastbone, and vent area. Only perfectly healthy birds should be entered in races. Post-race recovery protocols should address the depletion and stress of racing. Many fanciers provide electrolyte-enhanced water immediately upon return, followed by easily digestible, protein-rich foods and probiotics to restore gut health. Rest periods are essential between races, particularly after challenging events. Even champion birds need time to recover fully before competing again. Rushing birds back into competition is a common mistake that leads to declining performance and health problems. Remember that health management is year-round, not just during racing season. The foundation of health laid during the off-season and breeding periods significantly impacts racing performance. Champions aren't created in a few weeks of preparation. They're the product of consistent, detailed health management across their entire lives. Essential number 5. Optimal loft management and environment. The fifth and final essential element for raising champion racing pigeons is creating and maintaining the ideal living environment. The loft is more than just housing. It's a carefully designed environment that supports health, conditions the birds for racing, and facilitates proper management. Let's explore the key aspects of championship-level loft management. Loft design and construction. The physical structure of your loft significantly impacts your bird's health and performance. Orientation matters. Ideally, the main opening should face south or southeast in the northern hemisphere to maximize natural sunlight while minimizing exposure to prevailing cold winds. This orientation provides warmth in winter and natural disinfection through UV light. Ventilation is perhaps the most critical design element. A properly ventilated loft removes moisture, ammonia, and carbon dioxide while bringing in fresh air without creating drafts directly on the birds. Most successful lofts feature vents near the roof and controlled air intake near the floor, creating gentle air circulation. Temperature control should allow the loft to remain relatively cool in summer and frost-free in winter. Excessive heat is particularly detrimental to racing condition. Insulation in walls and ceiling helps moderate temperature extremes. Space requirements should provide adequate room without overcrowding. As a general guideline, racing pigeons need about 2 cubic feet of space per bird at minimum, with more being better. Overcrowding leads to stress, increased disease transmission, and poor performance. Interior features should include appropriate perches, preferably box perches where each bird has its defined space, secure nest boxes for breeding pairs, and floors that facilitate cleaning. Many championship lofts use grid flooring that allows droppings to fall through to a removable tray below. Population management. Controlling the number and composition of your flock is fundamental to success. Maintain appropriate density levels, avoiding the temptation to keep too many birds. Most successful small lofts maintain just 30 to 40 birds total, while larger operations might have 100 plus, but with proportionally larger facilities. Implement separate sections for different categories of birds: breeding pairs, young birds in training, race team members, and stock birds, valuable breeders not being raced. This separation allows for specialized management of each group. Practice ruthless selection based on performance and health. Championship lofts typically retain only the top 25 to 30% of young birds produced each year, selecting based on training results, physical qualities, and pedigree. Environmental control. Creating the optimal environment within the loft involves several factors. Light management influences molting cycles, breeding readiness, and overall health. Many successful fanciers use supplemental lighting during winter months to ensure birds receive 12 to 14 hours of light daily, supporting vitamin D production and maintaining natural rhythms. Humidity control is essential for respiratory health and feather condition. Ideal loft humidity ranges from 45 to 60%. Excessive moisture promotes mold growth and respiratory infections, while overly dry conditions can damage feather quality. Air quality must be maintained through proper ventilation and regular cleaning. The air in a well-maintained loft should smell fresh, not musty or ammonia-laden. Poor air quality directly impacts respiratory efficiency and racing performance. Predator protection is crucial for both physical safety and the psychological security of your birds. Ensure the loft is secure against rats, weasels, hawks, and other threats. Birds under constant stress from predator pressure cannot perform at their peak. Management systems and routines. The day-to-day operation of your loft requires consistent systems. Establish fixed routines for feeding, watering, training, and cleaning. Pigeons thrive on predictability, and consistent schedules help maintain both physical and psychological condition. Implement record-keeping systems tracking breeding results, training performance, race results, health treatments, and individual bird details. These records become invaluable for making selection decisions and identifying patterns of success or problems. Consider seasonality in your management approach. Different seasons require different protocols. Breeding season demands focus on pair management and youngster development. Molting season requires special nutritional support. Racing season centers on performance optimization and recovery. The human factor in loft management. Perhaps the most overlooked aspect of loft management is the relationship between fancier and birds. Develop handling routines that minimize stress while allowing for regular health checks. Birds should be comfortable being handled and examined, which requires regular, gentle interaction from an early age. Spend observation time daily with your birds. Champion fanciers know each bird individually, its habits, preferences, and subtle signs of condition. This knowledge comes only from dedicated time spent watching and interacting with your birds. Create calm energy in the loft environment. Birds are highly sensitive to human emotions and behavior. Entering the loft agitated or rushed communicates stress to your birds. The best lofts are peaceful environments where both birds and fancier can focus on the tasks at hand. Practice patience and consistency. Many beginners change systems frequently, jumping from one approach to another based on recent race results or advice. Champions develop systems based on sound principles, then refine them gradually rather than making constant major changes. Throughout this comprehensive guide, we've explored the 5 essential elements that separate ordinary racing pigeons from true champions. Let's briefly recap these critical factors. First, we discussed the foundation of success, superior genetics, and selective breeding. We learned that champions begin with quality bloodlines but build their own success through systematic selection and breeding programs focused on performance. Second, we explored optimal nutrition and supplementation, understanding that racing pigeons require specialized diets that change throughout the year, and that natural supplements can provide the edge that helps birds perform at their peak. Third, we examined strategic training and conditioning methods that develop both the physical capabilities and homing instincts necessary for racing success, progressing from basic loft flying to sophisticated road training programs. Fourth, we covered comprehensive health care and disease prevention, recognizing that proactive health management prevents problems before they start and preserves the vital respiratory and digestive systems upon which performance depends. Finally, we discussed optimal loft management and environment, understanding that the physical and psychological environment you create for your birds directly impacts their ability to achieve championship results. What separates the casual pigeon keeper from the champion fancier is attention to detail and commitment to excellence in all 5 of these areas. Champions don't succeed because they have secret techniques unknown to others. They succeed because they execute the fundamentals with consistency and precision. As you begin or continue your journey in racing pigeons, remember that this is both a science and an art. The science involves understanding genetics, nutrition, training principles, and health management. The art comes from developing an eye for quality birds, an intuitive sense of condition, and the ability to make good decisions about selection and pairing. Most importantly, enjoy the process. The greatest reward in pigeon racing isn't just winning, but the deep connection you develop with these remarkable birds and the satisfaction of seeing them perform at their genetic potential because of the care you've provided. Whether you aspire to win national competitions or simply want to enjoy the thrill of watching your birds return from increasingly distant training tosses, these 5 essentials will serve as your roadmap to success. Remember that champions aren't created overnight. They're the product of patient, consistent application of these principles over time. Thank you for joining me for this in-depth exploration of championship pigeon racing. I hope you found valuable insights that will help you on your journey. If you've enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and share with fellow pigeon enthusiasts. Until next time, happy racing!